Today we are checking out Green Hell VR. I've been so looking forward to sharing this one with you, and finally I get to do it. Now, if you're not aware what Green Hell is, it's a survival game set within the Amazon rainforest. Your goal is to progress through the story and survive the harsh rainforest environment as you do that. Now, in order to survive, you're going to have to craft things like shelters, find food, and prevent yourself from getting injured or losing your sanity. Green Hell VR for the Quest is for the Quest 2 only, and it's been built from the ground up for the Quest 2. So there are two separate versions, the PC VR version and the Quest 2 version. Both have been developed separately for these different platforms because obviously they're quite different in terms of their capabilities. Now, before we get into it, I'd just like to let you know that I've timestamped the video in the description below, and how it's going to go is I'm going to give you a bit of an overview of the game, the main story, then I'll show you some gameplay and give you a bit of a quick start guide on some of the mechanics of the game. It's not going to be in depth. If you want a more in-depth guide, there are plenty of guides out there for the flat screen version that will apply just as equally to this version, but this will help you get started. Then after you've seen the gameplay, I'll give some of the pros and cons and a little summary of what I thought about the game before wrapping the video up. So like I say, timestamps in the description below. If you like the video, please do remember to give it a thumbs up, and if you love your Quest and like this kind of content, then you might consider subscribing. So with that, let's check out Green Hell VR. Green Hell VR is finally here, but was it worth the wait? Well, while I'm only about 5 hours into the game, from what I've played, it's a big yes from me. But before I get into the gameplay and all of the pros and cons, let me give you an overview of the game. If you played the flat screen version of Green Hell, then feel free to skip this part as the story remains fairly similar. So I'll begin with the story. Now, there's a few spoilers here, but nothing you won't find out within the first few minutes of playing the game. You play a character called Jake Higgins who travels to the Amazon rainforest with his partner Mia. At some point in the past, you both travelled to the Amazon and came across an undiscovered Yabahuka tribe. The game begins with your second trip to the Amazon. Both yourself and Mia set up a camp just outside the main Yabahuka village. Mia goes off to try to establish contact with the tribe while you stay behind to catalogue plants. Now, as you might guess, things don't go exactly as planned, and the game really begins as you leave camp to try to find Mia.
Mia? What happened? Mia, speak to me. Mia! What the hell's going on over there?
So that's the very basic background to the story. There's much more to it than that. For example, the reason why Jake and Mia went to locate the tribe in the first place. But in the interest of keeping things as spoiler-free as possible, I will leave it there. So now I'm going to show you some gameplay, give you a bit of a guide and an idea of the mechanics involved in the game. And boy, there's a lot to get stuck into. So here's the gameplay. Enjoy. First, let me show you the journal. So this journal shows us our current objective. We've also got the different materials. Now, this is a bit buggy. I found the journal. It can get a bit stuck at times, but I'm sure they'll fix that with future updates. So you've got the different materials that you can find in the jungle, and the stuff, and some of the stuff you can make, like a weak stone axe, which requires 1 stick and 1 stone. Then we have the different plants and their effects. Now, this one gives me a basic dressing, but if I eat it, I don't know what the effect is, and if I cook it and eat it, I don't know what the effect is yet. I guess I have to try that out. And this one isn't anti-venom properties. Then we have this health tab, shows you what parasites do, so that increases the usage of macro elements, something I'll show you a bit later. You got the venom wounds, how to treat those, scratches, abrasions, lacerations, leeches, fever, sanity as well, which drops, and you get to experience hallucinations in VR and other things. So, and then we've got a map, which I haven't found yet, but you do get a map a bit later on. Then we have our backpack, which is full of different stuff like tools, materials, food and medicine, and other stuff. I can just leave it propped up like that and go through my different stuff. On the side, you can have like a bow and arrows and things like that on the other slots. So let's go through, and as I go through, I'll show you some of the different elements. Oh, before I go on, I'll show you the watch as well. There's so much to cover here. So we have our watch with the time and date and everything like that. We can also go and sleep with the watch. Now, if I were to do this right now, I'd sleep on the ground, but I want to make a shelter because that's just better for my health and well-being. Then we have different stats like how much poison I have ingested or taken on. We have how many parasites I've got in my stomach, as well as fever and vomiting and sickness and that kind of stuff. As those numbers go up, it gets increasingly worse for me. And then we have our macronutrients. So one of those is fats, one is proteins, and I think the other is carbs, as well as the amount of water. So it's not just I have to eat, but I have to eat the right quantity of nutrients to stay healthy and alive. And then finally, we have our health bar down below, as well as our stamina and energy bar, which depletes as I run and do other things like that. So let's go explore the jungle. And look, we've got some bananas already. These restore health, as well as perhaps energy, I think. And it gives me a macronutrient. So it gives me this honeycomb looking thing, which I'm not sure what that is. I think that might be proteins, perhaps. Yeah, maybe proteins. Oh, radio.
Hello? Can anyone hear me? I had an accident. I don't know what happened. Please, help? Over. Anyone? Fuck.
Okay, so right now I have absolutely nothing on me. I need to create some sort of axe or machete that will help me harvest materials. And eventually it's going to get dark. So what's the time now? Whoops. It is... okay, it's about 2:30. So I've got some time. But I'm going to really want to start thinking about getting a shelter together. That's going to help me when I come to rest. And also ensure that I can save my game. So over here we have a coconut, it looks like. Let's see if I can grab that. There we go. Whoops. There we go. So that coconut, I can't crack it open yet, but when I do, it gives me some food, and I can use half of that shell to collect water and drink it later on. We've got an armadillo there, which I cannot kill at the moment, but I can probably kill to get some food. Let's take a bone, why not? Some copper hongo. I have no idea what this is, some kind of mushroom. If I go to my journal, look at my plants tab. So you see, it's undiscovered. I don't know what the effects are. So in order to find it out, why not give it a go? This could be extremely bad for me, or it could be good. Oops. So you've got to wait for that circle to fill up. All right, I think that's pretty good. So it's gave me some nutrients. And what else? And it's killed parasites as well. So if I had parasites in my stomach, that would be a good mushroom to have. So I'm gonna hold on to that. So it could have gone the other way. It could have been poisonous, but I got lucky. Now wait, do you hear that? I think there's a snake in... Ah, there we go. There's a rattlesnake just there. And that's where you got to be careful. You can't bumble through the jungle because you're likely going to get bit or attacked. And yeah, I want to stay away from that guy. Take a rock, why not? Here we are. So we have a bow. Nice. What else do we have here? Oh, a can of cocktail sausages in the middle of the Amazon. Who would have thought? Right, we have a stick here as well. So that kind of stuff you can usually harvest by cutting down a tree, but I've got nothing to cut with. So I'm going to take it for now because I can't get it myself unless I pick it up off the forest floor. And that steak is still there. Let's go around him. Getting a bit too close there. Let's run ahead. Now we've got a snail, a mystery snail. I'm going to chuck him on backpack. I'm just like the hoarder of the jungle, just taking everything I find at the moment. Okay, so I've just come from that bridge. We've got this log here, or I think that's back to where I came from. So let's try this direction. I've got my compass here, which I should probably use. So this is heading north. Just be careful with that log, because if I fell, that'd be instant death. Now I can show you some crafting here. So this is to craft an axe. I just get a stone and a stick. Press the triggers on both controllers. There we go. So this is a stone axe. Now I can improve this stone axe with some rope, I believe. There we go, stone axe, weak stone axe, rope. So a weak stone axe is a stick and a stone. I think that's a weak stone axe. If I get some rope, I can strengthen that. So I'm going to want to try to find some rope if I can, because weak stone axes are pretty crap. They break fairly easily. You can find rope on some of the larger trees. Let's put the axe in there for now. So I'm going to just check around some of these larger trees. you'll find that usually hanging from them. Now I can show you as well, like I can use this to cut down vegetation. It's not great, but you know, it works. But I love the physics in this game. That you're able to pretty much cut down most things. I could cut down this tree as well if I wanted, harvest some sticks. But again, this axe is crap, so it's going to take a while. But there we go, I've got a bunch of sticks now. Just stow those away for later. They'll be good for bonfires, building shelters, something which I'm going to need to think about doing pretty soon. So you've got a leaf bed, a log bed, which will help with sleep. But what I want is a hut shelter, because that allows you to save the game. You need 3 long sticks, 1 rope, and 2 leaves. I think I can get the leaves pretty easy. It's just that rope that I need, and I haven't found any just yet. Oh, here we go. I think this is the rope that I need. Let's stash that away. So now I can use that rope. What got me there? There's something around here. I can hear it. It's a spider. Damn it. And I've lost my axe as well. Where did I drop that? Alright. So now I am poisoned. See, this is how easily things can turn. Now I'm poisoned and I don't have an axe because I've dropped it somewhere. So this is not looking good for me right now. Okay, we've got some rocks here. So I've got a big stone. If I try to smash this open, there we go. I've got a small flint and a stone. So here is a stick. Here is a stone. Let's make another axe. Brilliant. There we go. Right, got my axe back. I got a bit of flint, which is great. I'll put that in my backpack for later. Looks like the poison has worn off as well. So that spider poison didn't last forever, which is good. But my fever points have gone up, which is not good. Let's have a look. What do I do to reduce my fever? I love that there's so many elements to this game. Reduces energy over time, increases dehydration, temporarily reduces sanity. Fever is naturally brought down over time. Okay, so time is what it takes. We have a snake over there. Let's go around here. All right, let's take another coconut. I'll show you how to crack one of these open. All right, now we can, I'm going to eat the inside, replenish a bit of health and energy, and then put that half in my backpack. And that can be used to collect water later on. Now let's maybe build a shelter here. We can show you how that works. So if I go to the Home tab, here we have hut shelter. So let's click on that. And it will show me where I can build it. I can't build it there. Try and find some level ground. Maybe over here might be a good spot. There we are. Okay, so to build this shelter, I need a long stick. Let's see what this is. That's a stick, stick. Small stick. All right, I need to chop down some trees, I think. See if there's any good trees to chop down. Go over this way. This looks like a nice one. This axe is really bad. Seriously need a machete or something like that. So here is a long stick. I've got 1 long stick. I think this is 2. Let's bring it over to my shelter. Oh, okay. Right, I need to bash it in with a rock. So there we go. Oh, cool. That's right, let's bash it in further. There we go. Now the next stick, and I'll bash that in. This is so good. I've never made a shelter like this before, so yeah, never knew I had to do that. That's an awesome little touch there. So let's take the rope, let's bind it on here. Or how do I do this now? Okay, I wind it round. So you have to do all this physically. There we go. Now my final long stick. Now it is getting late. You can see the sun's coming down, so I really do need to get a move on and make that shelter. Ah, damn it. Need one more tree. I think I see a good one over here. Just checking for leeches. You do get leeches that, yeah, jump on you. And I think they drain your sanity. So you want to get them off when you can. Ah, this axe is terrible. Oh, here we go. Oh, try not to kill myself in the process. We've got some rope. Fantastic. Get some rope. Do you know what? I'm going to make a better axe. So I'll combine the axe with the rope. Oh, there we go. Tie it round. Oh, there we go. Stronger axe now. So I think it's more durable. Maybe it's tougher as well. So I need one long stick for my what is it, my shelter, and then I can sleep and save the game. There we go, that's in. So what do I need next? I think I need leaves. Here we go, some big leaves here. I think that would be great for the shelter. Pick a couple of that. There we go. I think we only need 2 of these. Oh, we need more. Here we go. Oh. There we go. We've got a shelter now. So I can go in there, save my game, and sleep. And just in the nick of time because looks like it's pretty much night time. So let's jump in here. Now I think I do this, yeah, tap and hold and I go to bed. There we go, restore my energy. Okay, it's morning time and my man is thirsty, so I need to get a drink. I know this is probably not the best place to get water, but I probably need to purify it first. Let's just do it anyway. Oh, here we go.
Thirsty.
Ah, here we go. So I've replenished some water, but I've increased the amount of parasites in my stomach, you see, because the water's not pure. So, but I do have that mushroom from earlier that will help with that. Well, I thought I did, but it seems to have disappeared. Maybe it's gone bad. So, yeah. Oh, what's this? Bird's nest. Why not? That'd be good for fire, I think. What's this? Tribe village. Examine the tribe village. This looks cool. Gonna get my axe ready just in case. I don't know what's around here. Oh, it looks like a map.
It's a map. Or at least what's left of it. Lambda 2. Doesn't ring a bell.
I've only played about 4 or 5 hours of the game, and the game is meant to be about 10 to 15 hours long, so I've got a ways to go, and because of that, it's not really fair of me to give it an official review score, but from what I've played, I've got to say that so far I would rate this game very highly. The graphics are simply brilliant for a Quest 2 title, and it's not just the graphics, but the physics too. You can cut, break, and make a lot of different things. Having all of this would be pretty intensive on the Quest's hardware, so I can imagine how hard it would be to pull that off. So hats off to Incuvo for making that happen. The graphics and the physics all make for a pretty immersive experience. When you hear that 3D audio sound or the rain falling around you, while you're surrounded by dense vegetation and animals, it makes you feel like you could be in the middle of the Amazon jungle. Now, another thing I absolutely loved about this game was how hands-on it was. There's not much button mashing to be had here. So, for example, if you get wounded, you have to use the motion controller to wrap the bandage. And if there's a leech on you, then you're pulling that sucker off using your motion controller. These realistic VR mechanics are included throughout many of the activities in the game, so when you go to craft something, or build, or gather food resources, or if you're engaging in combat, or you're walking, climbing, or swimming, all these activities are highly interactive make great use of VR and the motion controllers, and it just works really well. Then there's the gameplay mechanics and story that all went into making the flat screen version of the game such a hit. So when I talk about the gameplay mechanics, I'm talking about things like the dynamic day and night cycle with various weather conditions, and all those many other features that make this game so realistic and make it feel like an actual survival experience as you stay on top of your macronutrients, make sure you're not poisoned or running a fever or feeling sick. The story draws you in and you really feel like you're struggling to survive in the jungle. On my first few runs, I was just bumbling around through the jungle, falling off logs, picking up poisonous frogs, and ultimately doing a shit job at surviving, which, to be fair, probably reflects how I would go in real life.
Holy shit.
Then, after I got more familiar with the different plants and their properties, and how to stay on top of my vitals like health, nutrients, and psychological well-being, I was able to survive for longer, and I felt like I had genuinely become more skilled at survival. Now, although I felt like I was becoming a survival expert, in real life my survival skills were probably just as crap as they were when I first started the game. But that's not the point. The point is I felt like I was becoming more like Bear Grylls, and that's what matters. I also like the fact that the game had different difficulty settings, different save slots, and even though the game kind of follows a linear path, which I can understand, given the Quest 2 limitations, I'm sure that you can't make it too open world, the developers still managed to make it feel like you were in this sprawling jungle, and there were a couple of times when I did get turned around, did get lost, and I did have to use my map to get back on track. And now on to the small number of negatives that I've found. When you are low on something like water, the character Jake will remind you. Then about 30 seconds later, remind you again.
God, I could use a drink.
And again.
God, I'm thirsty.
And again.
God, I could use a drink.
And in the end, I just wanted to find water, not because I wanted Jake to survive, but just so that Jake would shut up. There was also some bugs here and there, which I'm sure will be ironed out in due time, and other small things that included some graphical elements that didn't match the rest of the game. For example, when Mia is talking, her mouth isn't moving. Is it a small thing? Yes. Am I nitpicking? Possibly. But one last thing that I found could be improved was the guidance. It kind of gives you a tutorial at the beginning, but there's also plenty that it misses out. I found I had to resort to internet guides to get the grips with the basics of this game. Now granted, there are a lot of gameplay mechanics to cover, but I felt it left you to fend for yourself perhaps just a bit too prematurely. But overall, from what I've played so far, it's an awesome game. I've never experienced anything like this on the Quest so far. I also hear a co-op gameplay feature is coming for this game at some point in the future, and when that happens, it will take this game to the next level. But I can only judge it on what I've played so far and what we have right now, and for me, it's definitely worth checking out if you want a challenge and you like these types of games. So what did you think of Green Hell VR? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. As you can probably tell, I'm a massive fan of this game, and I think this is a great VR adaptation. In fact, it's probably shaping up to be one of my favourite Quest games. Now, I can't say for certain because I haven't completed it yet, but it's certainly looking that way. Anyway, that's it from me for now. As always, thank you for watching, and hope to catch you in the next video.